Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Zesty Thoughts with your host, Anabla. Welcome to episode 56. I'm so excited in today's episode. I wanted to start off by thanking everybody. The Zesty Thoughts podcast YouTube channel now officially has 5,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. I am so grateful for everybody that has enjoyed the pod so far, that's subscribed to the channel, that has been, along the journey with me, to all the day ones, to any of you new people out there listening. It's just such an honor. This has been such an amazing, little over a year with the podcast. And I've had so much fun just gallivanting. And this has been such an amazing outlet for me to just gab about my life and talk about things that I think are interesting and chat with friends and stuff. There will be more guests lined up in the near future, so be on the lookout for that. But thanks again so much to those of you that subscribe on YouTube, and obviously to those of you that just listen to audio on whatever platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Either way, if you're following along with the pod, I am super, super grateful. So I just wanted to express my gratitude off the top of the episode. Before I dive into things, I'm actually fresh off of working on my phone for 30 minutes straight without my reading glasses on. These are just fake glasses. I just think they're cute, but my eyes are kind of screwed up right now. So bear with me, y'all, at the beginning of this episode. If I don't wear my reading glasses when I'm on a device close up for an extended period of time, I will get kind of headaches or eye strain or kind of neck strain even. It's so weird how it kind of travels through my body. But either way, definitely affects me. I definitely should be wearing my glasses, and I wasn't, but I need to be more strict. I don't know if anybody listening has heard of the 20-20-20 rule, but my optometrist told me this a long time ago, years ago. So every 20 minutes, essentially, you should look at something that's 20 feet away for 20 seconds straight. To kind of recalibrate and relax, let those muscles that have to focus close up, let them kind of relax before you get back into it. Obviously, if you're working in an office, any, office job or anything where you're on a computer all day, try to follow that. Usually I'm pretty good about it. I'm not really on a device for 20 minutes straight unless I'm working on pod stuff for editing or social media stuff. Then sometimes it can bleed into that, but I try to set timers for myself or kind of just take a mental note of the time to keep track of that. But also sometimes I'm really bad about it and I don't think about it at all. And then I totally notice it. I get headaches and kind of eye strain. It's the weirdest thing ever. So I just thought I'd share that rule with you guys, but I guess I probably should practice what I preach, you feel me? I used to be pretty strict about it, especially during the pandemic when I was doing most of my work online. But then I went back in person and every 30 minutes I switched to a new student anyway. So I was every 30 minutes I'm I have to walk outside, talk to the parents and kind of, transition into a new lesson. So I'm not looking up front as much. But then I realized when I'm talking to the students' parents, they're right in front of me. So I'm still kind of using those muscles or overusing those muscles. I quickly realized that doesn't necessarily count. But I don't know, the lesson rooms are kind of small. So I'm wondering if this is even 20 feet long, if I could look at the opposite wall or a point on the opposite wall. I don't even know if that's sufficient enough, but I do it anyway. Hopefully it's enough, you feel me? But yeah, I have a few updates. First being, for those of you that don't know, I have a cat. Her name's Chelsea. She was sick for a little while. She is hyperthyroid. She had a bunch of weird symptoms. We weren't sure what it was. We took her to the vet, found out that's what it was. So she's been on thyroid medication since May. And we had kind of a scare this week because she was peeing blood, and obviously all three of us freaked out. We were what does that mean? Because prior to being diagnosed with the hyperthyroid, she was showing a lot of kind of suspicious symptoms that a lot of cats that get kidney disease sometimes will show in the beginning. And so we were really worried when she got her first thing of blood work done. When we found out she was hyperthyroid, there were also some questionable levels with her kidneys, but we got some good news this week. So we took her to the vet because she was peeing blood. We were very concerned about that. Did turn out to be a UTI. So thank God that's all it was. And they did administer an antibiotic shot. So that is dealt with. they did follow up labs for her, blood work for her, and it turns out that the thyroid medication has been working wonderfully. Any of her levels that were off prior to being on the medication are like pretty much back to normal or almost back to normal, which is amazing. And when she went into that first appointment, she was very, very skinny. She was under 4 pounds. She was like 3.9 something pounds. When they weighed her this time, she was almost 6 pounds. So she almost, well, not doubled in weight, but she almost gained 2 pounds, which is crazy. And it's really, really good news that the thyroid medication is working effectively to the extent that like her metabolism is at a normal rate now. It's not like working too fast. And she's been eating and drinking at a normal rate, because when you're hyperthyroid, you're like drinking and eating excessively. So like, yay, we're super, super over the moon that, you know, her medicine is working. And I mean, she has to be on it for life, but it is what it is. We're hoping that it can keep her healthy, you know, for who knows how long. She's 15, but we're grateful for every day. And we're so glad that at least it's like more regulated so that we get, you know, more time with her, and that she can be comfortable and like in good health, at least for as long as she'll be here. So we're very happy about that. Over the moon. So if you have a cat, notice any of those symptoms, eating excessively, drinking excessively, you know, weight loss, anything like that, take them to the vet. Don't worry so much. I mean, it could be anything with older animals. Sometimes you never know, but you know, we never would have known that it was something like this if we didn't take her in, and something treatable, no less. So take my advice, I guess. There is like a heat wave, just an FYI, there is a heat wave going right now in LA. And I have the window closed. We have an AC unit in the house. We actually just bought a second one. The unit that we live in already had an air conditioner installed in one of the bedrooms, but that's the only one. And it's like in a bedroom. So like, what? Like in the summer, so the rest of the house is just gonna be hot, you know, or the other bedroom that I'm in. So we got a second air conditioner. We haven't set it up yet, but like now we need to. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have time to do it like the next few days because we all have work. But I'm sorry if you hear any background noise. I do have like a fan pointed at me and I'm like still dying. I had my window open like all day and I just closed it to record because there's like, you know, miscellaneous neighbors. My window is like right by like a kind of like a walkway for like both buildings, like our building and the next one. So there's a lot of foot traffic, gardeners, a lot of gardeners on Tuesday in this area. Just a lot of like noise generally. So hopefully that will not be coming through. And I'll try to EQ that fan out of there so y'all don't have to hear it. Okay. One thing I did want to share this week. I waxed my own armpits on Sunday. Okay. And I just wanted to share my experience because like I've gotten waxes before. They never get easier. You know, you never get used to them. They're always painful and horrible. And I have been working a lot recently. I'm working 2 jobs. And so I was like, well, what can I do that's like a medium to high maintenance thing, maybe once a week or, you know, twice a week or whatever? What are things I can do on a less consistent basis that will make my like daily schedule a little bit easier? And I'm like, waxing is one of those things because normally I just shave, but obviously you have to shave more frequently than you wax. So I was like, let me try this. I already had wax strips from a while ago. So I was like, okay, I used them before. I attempted to use them before. Was not successful. I just like couldn't muster up the courage to actually like rip, you feel me, to pull off the wax strip. I literally put it on and then I had to like slowly peel it off and like wipe the wax off because I couldn't do it. So that was the last time. That was like 6 months to a year ago. So I was like, well, I hope these wax strips aren't expired. They weren't. So I was like, I'm determined. I'm just going to put on videos, like TikToks, of like other women waxing their armpits. And maybe if I'm like watching that and I'm like inspired and I can channel that bravery and that energy of these other women that do it, then I can do it with them and feel like I'm not alone and just like bite the bullet and do it. You feel me? So that's what I did. I did both arms and literally I was like having such a hard time. I was like 1, 2, 3. and then I wouldn't pull. And I did that like 10 times each arm. Like it was such a struggle. The wax strips I had were like pretty good. I just like couldn't come to a consensus as far as like the videos I was watching and stuff that I Googled, whether I was supposed to pull up with the strip or down with the strip. So I actually just did both because I was like, well, I don't like, no, I can't like tell from these videos what everyone's doing because people are doing both. So I just did both. But it's like, I still had to like tweeze a lot. I'm just like, it's like annoying. Maybe these wax strips are just like not that good. So if anybody has recommendations for like at-home wax strips or a waxing kit, preferably like soft wax. I don't really want to use hard wax. That's a lot. But if anybody has recommendations of like store-bought, like brands of like wax strips or soft wax or anything like that, that is very quick and effective and actually getting like majority of the hair, let me know. I saw some people putting like powder under their arms. I don't know what that is. I guess I have to look that if it's like cornstarch or like baby powder or something, if that makes a huge difference or not. Then maybe I have to do that also. But yeah, let me know, y'all, if you have any like ideas. The weird thing about waxing your armpits is like you're not supposed to put on traditional like aluminum antiperspirant deodorant after you wax for like at least 24 hours. So I waxed my armpits Sunday night and then like I had just showered and then like Monday, it's like I had to like go to work and like do all my things, but like I couldn't put deodorant on. So it was just like the weirdest thing. At least I wasn't really like in a super hot environment. I mean, I was in the valley, but I was like in air conditioner most of the day. I just put like, I have this body butter that has coconut oil, shea butter, and like rose essential oil. It's my favorite body butter. I've now ordered my third tub and it's from this store on Etsy. I'll link it in today's pod description because it's literally my obsession. I'm literally waiting for my third jar of it to be delivered. So, but yeah, I love it so much. And I put that on after. For me, that's like the best like post-shave, post-wax like cream to use. Because to me, at least I notice it, my skin shows redness like very quickly and very intensely. So whenever there's redness or anything from waxing or shaving, I will use that, or like for a sunburn even, and it literally, I swear, I think it's the shea butter, it instantly like reduces redness, like literally in an instant, like before your eyes. So I highly recommend that for y'all also. But if you have recommendations for wax strips or methods or anything like that, let me know, because I actually think I'm gonna try to do that consistently because it will genuinely save me time in my schedule. So yeah. All right, well, I did want to share an experience that I had this last weekend. Something new that I did that I've never done before. I went to like a bar with my friend and watched a UFC fight. Like, that's why we went out. Literally just to watch the fight. And I've never done that before. I'll go out and like watch like sports. I'll watch baseball, basketball, whatever. I've never watched like a fight like that. That's actually a lie. I have watched a fight before. I watched the fight between Myke Tyson and the Paul brother. But that was just, first of all, it was just super hard to watch. I couldn't really take it seriously because I'm not really like, not a hater of the Paul brothers, but like I'm just like not into their content. I don't like follow them or anything. So I just like didn't really care in that way. It was just very hard to watch. But like I've never like gone out of my way. Like we made reservations. We had a table at a local spot and we literally went with the sole purpose of watching the fight. The main card was Chimaev and Plessis. I don't even know if I'm saying these people's names right, but I will say it was like very interesting. I don't know if I'm like into watching UFC now, but it was not boring. I will say that we had a little drinky poo, got some yummy food, and we just vibed, and it was so like fun and dramatic. The bar that we went to was packed. We were smart to make reservations, and we're lucky that we got there, when we did, because it was so busy. We got there like 6:30. By the time like the main card event was at like 9 or something. First of all the seating was taken like an hour after we got there, like once the fight started. And then the closer it got to the main card event, literally it was like standing room. So everybody was seated and then there were people just swarming inside the bar, standing in like basically any empty space that was available. It was crazy. For those of you that are into UFC, you will know apparently Chimaev has this like iconic creepy ass smile that he does. And literally right before the countdown for the start of their fight, the first round of their fight, both of the fighters are like kneeling down, like in a squat kind of, and they're like staring each other down. It's all dramatic. I'll post the footage here. And the creepiest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, bro. If I was fighting this dude, I'd be quaking in my boots, y'all. I would literally be down bad if I saw this face at the start of a fight. There's no freaking way. And then, yeah, he proceeded to like kick ass in like the first round or two. Round like 2 and 4 were like kind of boring because they're just like in the same position the entire time, but he did like very clearly dominate. He was like, in my opinion, a very clear winner, but I'm also like not into like UFC like that, so I don't know how they score it. The other guy did have good defense. He was just caught between a rock and a hard place, and like, you know, he was just down for a little too long. You feel me? He was just in that vulnerable position for a little bit too long. So I understand why he did not win. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm like a UFC girl now, but I'm definitely not opposed to like hanging out and watching the fights because it's just kind of like intriguing. I don't know what it is about like really hyper masculine stuff and like weirdly like masculine dominant, like male dominant things that are so intriguing to me. It's just like, it's like an enigma. I think it's just so like illuminating to me as like a straight cis woman having such a like overt like view on like the opposite end of the gender spectrum. It's just like so intriguing. It's kind of like funny to watch like other guys like super into it. Like obviously I know like guys are into sports, but like my partner isn't like hype like that when it comes to sports. So like I don't see that a lot. I just think it's interesting and funny. I don't know if other girls find like humor in that. Not humor, but like if it's like entertaining to you. To me, it's like kind of entertaining. So I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say about the matter. But yeah, it was a fun night. A very interesting fight. Significantly more interesting than the fight with Tyson and Paul. So I will say that I was a little bit more satisfied and a little bit more entertained. I know that's not all that it's about, but entertainment is definitely a large part of that industry, if we're being so real. But yeah, super interesting for sure. I will keep y'all updated if I watch another fight and come back with a review, I guess. Okay, last segment of today's pod. I have an album review for you. I think this is like clearly a formal segment on the episode now since I've given album reviews like the last I don't know how many episodes. But here it is. Myke Towers released a new album called Island Boyz. I freaking love Myke Towers. I've been a fan of him for maybe like 5-6 years. I wasn't really onto him before that, but I'm super into like his trap, like Latin trap and hip hop and rap. I'm like a huge fan of. Like, I love Bad Bunny, but I think that like I like Myke Towers' trap, like, in a way more. He is not as melodically inclined, so that I, like, prefer about Bad Bunny if I'm, like, more in the mood for something to sing along with or, like, something more melodic. I obviously am going to go for Bad Bunny, but, like, after listening to this album, I was like, wait a second. Maybe it's just because I haven't listened to... Honestly, when I discovered Myke Towers, like I haven't really listened to anything that he made prior to that. So really I should just go through his entire discography and like listen to more old stuff because maybe he's like always been making music like this. But this album is so freaking fun. It's like pretty much not trap at all. It's literally just like Latin pop and like reggae. Like there's like reggae vibes. I was super into it. So I wanted to list my favorite tracks. The first track that was a standout to me was La Despedida. Straight up bringing the reggae to reggaeton because the beginning is like literally straight reggae and then the second half's like you feel me, like a little more upbeat, a little more fun. That song is fire. I love it. 10 out of 10. Sunblock, okay, perreon, like let's party, you feel me? That song is so fun. You're trying to shake ass, Put on sunblock. That song is super lit. This whole album is just like island vibes. Obviously, it's called Island Boyz, but it's giving that summer, like beach vibes. I've just been super into that summer music vibe recently, to be honest. It just brings me a lot of joy, and it just like makes my day like a little more like fun. Shakes things up, you feel me? Okay, next up, Tengo Cielo is like, in my opinion, that's a pop hit. Like, I don't know about y'all. I didn't realize he was that versatile. So that song, for the girls that like pop music, you're really gonna like that. It reminds me of Todo de Ti by Raul Alejandro. That, it's giving that. It's just like a good pop song. Okay, fourth song, Por un culo así. I like the way that they write it in the title, because it says por un and then the letter Q and LO. I don't know if that's like it's spelled like the slang way to spell it, but I thought it was funny. That song is sick. I was like, oh, okay, period. Okay, Myke, got it. You're a simp, got it. Yeah, that song's really fun. And my opinion, another fun one is Se Reveló. That song is just a vibe. Honestly, all 5 of those songs, just vibes, straight vibes. This album is maybe not necessarily as much of like a no skip album compared to the Belle album that I reviewed last week, but there are a lot of fun ones. I mean, those are just like my 5 standouts. I added at least like half of the album to my library and to playlists and stuff. So I would highly recommend, if you're into Latin music, Latin pop, reggae, like anything that's that vibe. I think you'll really enjoy it. Super fun. Anyway, y'all, that's going to wrap things up. We're short and sweet. I am in communication right now as we speak with some friends regarding guests on the pod. So in the next month, hopefully, if the stars align, there will be a new guest on the pod. So thank you again, everyone, so much. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed. I really appreciate it. You all, really keep me motivated and excited about doing this and just inspire me. You know what I mean? It feels really good that people are interested to the extent that they want to subscribe and be able to like see me in that subscription tab. You feel me? We're only going up from here, y'all. Let's hit 10K. Help me hit 10K. Send the channel to a friend, share the pod with a friend or like a family member or someone you think is like on the same wavelength. Someone that you gab with. You feel me? Send it to the gabbers. You feel me? Thanks again so much, everybody, for all of the support. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do. If you're listening on audio, please follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Like the video, leave a review on the audio platforms. And thanks in advance for all of the support. I hope everyone has a wonderful week and a fun weekend. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.